Hello all. Alright, Sunday. Very crowded out as usual. Overcast, foggy, no wind. Forecast for yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And the next couple days is hot weather, fire weather, worst windstorms in 20 years, not a breath. And all hell to break loose in California today and tomorrow and the next day. Where do these people come up with these forecasts? So today's just sort of a walk and talk thing. So crowded out, it's the only way I can do it. So my biggest concern in the next 2 weeks is corruption like we've never seen it here in the US. We're seeing that the mail is now being delayed so that the ballots can't get in on time. All over the US this is happening. I mean, the orange never will ever do anything the way the law says it to be done. He'll do it just the opposite. But he'll get so pissed at other people if they don't do what he says for them to do. The hypocrisy that's around the world right now is so thick and so vicious that I can't even figure out what to do about it. Nothing is making any sense to me. Logic is out the door. According to this morning's news, White House Chief of Staff is saying that Trump has given up on the virus. Not that he ever started to try and do something about it. He never did. But he's given up on the virus and he's going to go for herd immunity. And that every time he has one of these rallies, every single one, there's a whole trail of new infections from COVID. Every one of them. In fact, it's so bad, they're calling him the super spreader. Could Trump himself be responsible, but yet there's still one person who would vote for this guy? The logic isn't here. Why would you vote for someone like that? The other side of the aisle, which is basically the same side of the aisle, is a little bit better. They disguise all their illegal doings and give them fancy names and all this, but both parties are corporate parties. It's just that one is a very fascistic party now. People are so nervous right now. They're uptight and they're crazy around the U.S. There's a lot of irritation with people, with each other. The police here in San Francisco do not respond to anything other than bodily injuries or violence, gunshots, that sort of thing. Anything else, you're on your own. Logic has gone out the window. It's just gone. So where has logic gone? Well, it's gone into greed, selfishness, self-centeredness, and just plain doesn't care. People don't seem to care anymore. But I've been saying that for some time. See, if they cared, instead of standing in a 7 or 8 hour line to vote, they would be circling the White House by the millions, demanding a fair and equal election. But no, illogic says you go stand in a 7 to 8 hour line. Crazy. And fall for the stealing of the next election. But once the election was stolen back in Gore Bush, that was a clear stealing of the election. That's when it started. And ever since then, we have not had a standard, regular election, have we? Not a one. So let's go up this way and see what's up. So that brings me on to my last subject is, do you think that all this crazy illogic and stuff is all part of nature's way of culling the herd, making them so insane that they literally fight with each other until most people are dead or dying, famine and all kinds of horribleness? Well, I don't know what that was. It ran right by. So are we going to go ahead and fall for herd immunity, which will then cause great harm to the food system, which is already being warned about again, that it's very fragile, and that major processing plants are now closed or closing, especially for the winter. And getting enough farm hands here in the U.S. to bring in the crop, which seems to be something that's more and more difficult by the day. So farmers are going for more and more automation, and you can really see it in the food. Big cut marks in the food. You know, it's not the kind of food we used to get. And how long do you think this will last before all hell breaks loose? 2 more years? Something like that? So I've asked this before, but are humans part of nature? Is this just all part of what's natural? Other animals have gone through similar situations where they run out of food or fresh water or something, and they die by the millions. They get their numbers back down, and then it just starts all over again. Are we just going down a path that we have no choice but to go down? Half the country wants to destroy everything, saying it's a thing that must happen. The other half saying, hey, wait a minute, let's try something smarter than that. Is this just nature taking over now? Are humans part of nature? I have to respond to one commenter on my last video. Link below. The person told me that pretty much all nuclear power plants leak tons of this tritium and other kinds of radioactive isotopes into the Pacific Ocean on a daily basis, and I never talk about them. Well, the reason because I haven't heard about them. If you could possibly give me a link to some of the articles describing this, I'll definitely talk about it, 100%. No matter whose radioactivity it is, I'll talk about it. I don't care whose it is. If it's out there, give me the links. Tell me about the situation, the names and things. Don't just throw out stuff and expect me to believe it. But I still do appreciate all the comments. Just give me links and a little bit more on the situation, and I will definitely cover it. Don't worry about it. I'll cover anything that's bad. We have about 2 more weeks left, and then we don't know whether the video will continue or not. I'm sort of warning people to know that there'll be a drastic change in the video. If he wins the election, well, he will never win it, whether he steals the election and gets away with it or not. So, with that, appreciate your ups, downs, new subscribers, and until next time.